All right, good afternoon. Welcome to another live session. It's Friday, 3rd of October 2025. Today is the first Friday of the month. So today is NFP. Now, I was just going through some article online and I realized that apparently there is a government shutdown in the States, which doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. So there's a government shutdown in the States, so it was showing that maybe there might be a delay in the data release, but hopefully there is no delay in the data release so that we can have our NFP being released 1:30. But let's look at price and then we wait till 1:30 and then see what price is gonna do. Yesterday we spoke about price actually moving from this fair value gap and then making its way towards the 98.60 level. It did start brilliantly and then we had a pullback from here, which makes sense because usually the move will be made by the news event. Now this gap is what I'm holding on to for the move to the upside. So if we lose this, then definitely we will continue going down. However, based on how the structure is, I think there's a likelihood of price going up here rather than going down. So I'm sticking with potentially price going up. If we go down, today being Friday, price would have to close through this fair value gap. Once we close through this gap here, that is when I will look for lower prices. Until then, I'm looking for higher prices. So if the news comes out, maybe there might be a fake out move to the downside first. The fake out move to the downside might either close below and then resume going lower or reject and go up. It doesn't matter anyway, because whichever sides that they choose, next week price will continue in that direction anyway. So we will get like trade ideas in the direction. But for now, I prefer higher prices to down prices. That will give euro also potential move to the downside. I think yesterday we spoke about it during the New York session that we are likely gonna come down, and I said something that the New York session, which is the 2 p.m. to 5, that is when the move might transpire, and that is what we saw. We've pulled back and I'm expecting a continuation to the downside. We might drop in here, which is the 1.1678 level. That is a potential area for price to drop into. So keep that price on your chart, 1.16782 level. That is where I think price might drop to. And then since it's Friday, if we can get here, then we might pause for the day. And then on the upside, we also have this fair value gap that if we the news event that is coming, if we close through this, then I think they will go higher. Okay, if we close through this fair value gap, then they'll go higher. So regardless of what happens, if we come 1:30 and news comes out and we go up, we wait till the hour. So the news comes out at 1:30, but you need to wait till 2 p.m. to see if that 1 o'clock candle, or between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock candle, will close through, because sometimes it will be a wick and then it will come back down and then resume going lower. Right, so let's see at 1:30 if they're gonna send it to this level as I'm indicating. So in this scenario, one can take a risk like this to the downside. Okay, and then definitely, obviously, if it stops you out, no problem, because I think we're supposed to be going down. Okay, so if they go up, do they stay above or they reject immediately? That can also give a clue. So I'm here after the 1:30 news event. Maybe I'll stay around another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll see what it will do. British pound will be the same to the downside. There's a nice fair value gap over here. New York session fair value gap right here. So that's where I think the British pound will also likely reach for, with a stop above this high and targeting this. Right now, like I said, ultimately it can go for this low, but maybe not today, because that is roughly almost 122 pips. It can do it, but probability of it doing all of that today is low because of the imbalances that resides over here. Okay, so basically look for a move to 1.339. Okay, so that is that for the British pound. Let me say this, I apologize for yesterday. I think yesterday my feed was live, but there was no voice. For some reason I failed. I won't say failed, I forgot to check if my microphone was on or not, because I'm used to just turning it up and then using it. I didn't pay attention to the mic, so I was live but there was no voice. So those of you that watched me yesterday, I apologize, and yeah, hopefully today is working. Okay, so moving on to the Euro pound. I think Euro pound, we mentioned that is also likely gonna continue going up to the 0.8757 level, and yeah, I think maybe the NFP doesn't really affect this much, but it can, and then take price higher. I think that's likely gonna happen because of the weekly fair value gap over here. So if you did get in, you can stay with it for the continuation to the upside. I like the drop that happened here. Okay, that drop was a huge sign of buying, and you can see so far we are making attempts to go and break that high. Now from the weekly perspective, okay, we've taken our previous week low. So even if we don't go up today, if we don't go up this week, next week is likely gonna take out a weekly high. So pay attention. I think this down candle here can be the resistance or the support that will take price up, because they came to it and respected it, and then we've seen a rejection. At the same time, currently we have about 42 minutes to go. After 42 minutes, we will close above this high, this candle's low, which is 0.87238. If we can close above it, that's also a positive sign for higher prices. Okay, looking at gold, I think gold is also still bullish. Yesterday's drop does not change the bullishness in gold. Gold is still bullish. I think I made a measurement. Let me see if I made a measurement. Okay, it was the full price, or the even price level, 3900 level. I think that is still a target. This was just a pullback, okay, into this imbalance, and I think we'll go up again. And by the end of the day, this became a down candle. Down candles are normal in an uptrend. Okay, down candles are basically reaccumulation candles. Okay, so all these down candles, the green ones and the black ones, they are all reaccumulation candles, and all they do is they dip into a fair value gap and then resume going up. Okay, so here, this was a fair value gap. We dipped in and then we went up. Okay, so yeah, that is a fair value gap. This was one, dipped in and then went up here, then here, then here, then here, then here, and now right here. Okay, so it's still bullish. I don't think selling is recommended. Just look for buys only. Right, and the next target is the 39000 level. If not because of the NFP, I would say buy with your stop loss and then take partial here and then let the rest continue, because we've gone above this down candle. But NFP is different. Sometimes they can move and attack some stops before moving, and if you place your stop here, they might hunt you before moving, right? So if anything, probably wait after 5 minutes, 5 minutes after the NFP, and that might give you or you might avoid being used as liquidity if they want to run lows first before moving. Okay, crude oil, I think yesterday we spoke about price potential dipping into this and showing a sign of going up. It did dip in on the 15 minutes. It was showing signs of going up over here. I was watching it, but it couldn't sustain. This wasn't strong enough. The move here wasn't strong enough, so I didn't actually use it. Had this move be sustained, especially on the 1 hour, because on the 1 hour it didn't even close above anything. Okay, so the downside still prevails. Like I said, we are likely gonna take out this low. Okay, I was just looking for a potential pullback before we continue going down, but it seems like that is probably not gonna happen. So the next downside objective is gonna be this low, which comes in at 59.76. Maybe after that low is taken, that is when a pullback might take place. So watch 59.76. That is the next draw on liquidity for crude oil, and then maybe a pullback before a continuation to the downside, to this equal low. And then ES, I think yesterday I gave a level to watch. Which was right here, that if we pull back to it, you can buy and then aim for the 6793 level and then the 6838 level. It failed to get there by a few pips, and on the 15 minutes, that is where I got my entry. Okay, so in the 15 minutes right here, right, it gave a shift or an auto block. It looked nice on the 5 minutes chart. So if you look at the 5 minutes chart, we have this run on this low, big move, creating a fair value gap. So that's exactly where I got in, right? And yeah, I left it to see if we can reach for this one and then that one. Even though my TP is there, that's the two contracts. So the first one will come off here, and then the second one I'll let it go. Okay, it doesn't give me the what is it called? It doesn't have the feature to do partials. Okay, the trading view doesn't have features to do partials, so that's why I've placed it there. But if we get here, I'll probably take partial and then I'll let the rest go. Now with the rate announcement, with the NFP, maybe they might come back down, take out this low, hit this, and then resume going up. That's also a possibility, but the daily is still bullish, so we are sticking with the daily time frame for higher prices. We are currently inside this H4 gap, so fingers crossed that will hold and then send price higher. We've got about 5 minutes left, and then the NFP will be released. Fingers crossed they will release it because of the government shutdown, but fingers crossed they release it, and then we'll see what price is gonna do. But before we do that, let's quickly go through the crypto market. Bitcoin, yesterday we spoke about it, 124533. That is the draw on liquidity. We are still bullish. I like the energy that price is showing, so expect a continuation to the upside on Bitcoin. Same thing with the Ethereum market. Okay, we are likely gonna continue going up. It's leaving strong fair value gaps behind, so that's a strong positive reason why price will continue going up. Solana, same thing. We have a strong move, so expect a continuation to the upside. I think they might aim for the all-time highs again, but for now, let them break this up candle first, and then we can talk about the all-time highs. So a move above 253. Once we go above 253, then we can expect them to go for the all-time highs again. Ripple, same thing. A move above this high, this up candle, will initiate a continuation to the upside on a big time frame. So once we break this, because that's the last swing low, we originated from here, so took out the low, rejection, we break this, and then we start going up again. So watch XRP, Ripple for a break above 3.1858, then we can start aiming for the all-time highs again. hype. 53.70 is our next target, and then 57.27. Okay, those are the drawn liquidity for now. AI16, we spoke about this gap. Once we bridge this gap, then we can start aiming for higher prices. Until then, we can still come back down again, but based on what I'm seeing, we've taken out a low, rejected, so it would be good for price to be sustained to go up rather than coming back down again, especially from the monthly perspective. Okay, we've been dropping for some time. We've had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of down candles. We are due for an up candle. Okay, so fingers crossed, that fair value gap will give way, and then we can print our first up candle in 5 months. And then finally Chachki, that is still bearish. We've not shown any signs of going up, but based on how last week closed, this might be a pullback into, I think this is a wick, so it might pull back into maybe 50% of that wick. Oops. Okay, 50% of that wick is right here, and then price might resume going up again. So 50% of that wick is right here, and then price might resume going up again. I'll keep an eye over the weekend. I'll keep an eye and then see if that will be the case. But buyers, not good for you right now, so stay away. If you're a buyer, stay away for now. Okay, all right, let's go back to the currencies and watch dollar index. We've got about 30 seconds to go. Let's see what the market will give us for NFP, and then we'll come back maybe 5 minutes after the release. So stay tuned with me. I'll be back in the next 5 minutes after the release, and then we'll see what the market will do from there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it seems that the um the data was not released due to, as I mentioned, the government shutdown in the States. And obviously I know this is all fake, but the movement that was meant to happen with the news event didn't take place. So I don't know what's gonna happen. They said it might get delayed, they might cancel it, or it might come as a surprise. All right, so that is leaving room for a potential manipulation. So just be careful if you are trading, because if they can hold on to data to stop price from moving, they can do anything. Who knows what they are planning? All right, just have your stop loss in place. And like I mentioned, I am bullish on the dollar based on this range between this low to this high, and we've come to OTE, first area of accumulation. Therefore price needs to go up from here. If we go down, it might just take out this low and then reject and go up. Okay, so if you're going to position yourself, that is how I'll position myself, to the upside and obviously to the downside on euro, to the downside on the British pound, and gold, like I said, I think to the upside. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I have for now. I'll see you all next week Monday. I'll see you all next week Monday. Hopefully, something will happen, and then over the course of the New York session, which is between 2 and 5, they might send it up. So keep an eye on it, and then let's see what price is gonna do. Okay, all right, so have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend. This is my first week back, so bear with me as I orient myself back into these live sessions, and there's more to follow, there's more to learn. So let's see. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you Monday. Take care.